We're live. Hi, everybody. We are live. It is Monday after the World Cup final. It is July 20th. Final was yesterday, and we have a winner. Spain won their second ever World Cup, and they defeated Argentina. So exciting. We'll get to that in a second. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Elle. I'm the host of the Speaking Tongues podcast, where we talk about language and culture from all over the world. If you're just joining me now, this is the last World Cup live that I'll be doing because the World Cup is over. I know a lot of you have joined over the last couple of weeks, and thank you to everybody who's joined. Thanks to everybody who's come and chatted about World Cup either live or on the replay. It's been so much fun putting all of these flags up here behind me and just sitting here and chatting live almost every day. I tried to make it every day. I did my best. But while we're here, while we're talking, if you're here live and you want to join the chat, please let me know. If you watched the game yesterday, let me know what some of your thoughts about the match were, and I'll get into that in a bit. The first thing I want to talk about, just so that we know, this new episode of Speaking Tongues, I talked about it in the last live. We were talking with Dr. Albert Ventayol about computational linguistics. That is my last episode for this season. So if you are not caught up, this is the time for you to catch up. This is the time for you to go back and check out all the episodes that we had this season. We had about 10 or 11 guests from different parts of the world talking about all different languages, and we had some really good conversations this season. So please, 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 please check that out. They're all up here on YouTube. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what you thought about it. If you have anything to add it in the comments. Because we like to get a conversation going. So just wanted to let you know, if you are a listener of the show, we are finished with new episodes for now, and we will be back with another season because we're almost at 200 episodes. We are very, very close to 200 episodes. So we'll make sure that we get those last 12 episodes out. Okay, so today was the first day without football. I mean, not the first day without football, but it's the day after World Cup. What did you all do today? For those of you who were in the office, maybe I'm sure that you worked because it's Monday morning, but what was your Monday like? Because, we had a whole month of nonstop football, and World Cup only comes once every 4 years. So I don't know, for me, I was a little sad that it's over. It's always so much fun, and it's nice to go through this tournament and enjoy it. But it's always a little sad when it's over. So what are some of your thoughts about the end of the tournament? Did you get the outcome that you expected? Did you get to cheer for your team? Did you get to root for your team or root for the downfall of another team? Let me know. I would love to know how everybody was watching this match. A really interesting thing that I thought this year, for the first time, we had a halftime show, and I'm not used to it. And I'm sure that a lot of longtime fans of the game and the tournament are not used to a halftime show. So that was really interesting. And I was with friends. We were watching in a bar, and I look up, and all of a sudden there's Madonna on a car with Ronaldo Nazario, R9, and Ronaldinho. And it was like a fever dream. It was a little interesting because it seemed like Ronaldinho was having a good time with it. And Ronaldo seemed like he was just happy to be there. He was just boogieing a little off tempo, but we love him, right? Like, he's not a dancer, he's a football player. he was just smiling and happy to be there, and Ronaldinho was cool as a cucumber. Justin Bieber, a lot of people were complaining about Justin Bieber playing a slow song. Um, to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to the halftime show at all because that was a chance to really talk and catch up with my friends. I think BTS, I almost said B2K. BTS was there and they sang a song that I recognized, and I didn't realize it was them before yesterday. And I'm hearing it. I don't listen to BTS, but and then Shakira was there singing her song, which was the anthem of, and I think Burna Boy was the anthem of this year's World Cup. So I mean, I don't know. It was kind of cool to see it. I know it's not a typical part of football tradition to have a halftime show, but maybe that's what made it uniquely American, and it was held here in the United States. So maybe that made it very unique to us here in the USA, and people are very used to that and they enjoy that. They look forward to a little entertainment. Um, Probably won't see that again for another tournament, and I'm fine with that. It's totally fine with me. I thought it was something very uniquely USA that was infused in that final, and that's fine. That's completely fine, in my opinion. um, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you enjoyed that halftime show, if you watched it, if you did enjoy that halftime show. Um, let me know what some of your thoughts were. Um, so I was thinking, and I think I said this in the last live that I did. Um, I wanted to just really talk about some of the best. Like this is like a recap. I just wanted to recap some of the things that I enjoyed and some of the things that I noticed during the tournament. And if you're watching this, if you're in the chat, if you're watching this on the replay, please let me know. Let me know what some of your favorites are. I wrote this down. I wrote this down because, this tournament goes by so quickly and it's really easy to forget from one week to the next, from one stage to the next, kind of what really happened, and getting all the way to the end of it and trying to remember what happened a month ago is a feat. So I made a little list here. So let's start with some of the best goals of the tournament. Definitely, for me, I think the goal of the tournament was Sidney Lopez Cabral and his equalizer for Cabo Verde against Argentina. That goal lit up everything, and that was already an exciting game. But that was probably the golazo of the tournament, the big goal of the tournament, the exciting goal of the tournament. And I know there were plenty of exciting goals and unexpected goals and last minute goals, but for me, that was the one that I think I enjoyed the most. And again, as I'm going through this list, let me know what your thoughts are. What was your favorite goal? What was the one that you enjoyed the most, or the one that you thought was the best? I also think that the best goal, obviously, was Ferran Torres yesterday against Argentina, because that was the game winner. That was the game winner, and it reminded me so much of the last time Spain won in 2010 when Andres Iniesta scored that goal in the 116th minute. Torres this time did it about 10 minutes quicker than Iniesta did. But it was still just as exciting. The only difference is that this time I was in New York and last time I was in Madrid, which cannot be topped at all. And it's so funny because I saw F. Torres, who, scored this goal, and for a split second, I was like, Fernando Torres? I gotta get back into football, into regular league play in between these World Cups. My top 5 players for this tournament, and please let me know what your top 5 are. Definitely starting with Vozinha. I think he is our darling. He is our favorite cousin. He is the goalkeeper in a true goalkeepers World Cup. There were so many outstanding goalkeepers during this World Cup, and he is just the one. He's the one. I think Mbappe, we know he won the Golden Boot. He scored the most goals in this tournament. Um, and he was the one that everybody was talking about. Love him or hate him, he was the one that everybody was talking about. Holland and Bellingham, I think everyone was talking about the two of them and their friendship, but also talking about their positive expression of masculinity and sportsmanship, which was so really cool to see. And they're young guys, so it's, hopefully they're role models to players who are coming up and young men who are coming up now and enjoying the sport, maybe for the first time or even if they're longtime players. And I'm going to say that was four. I'm going to say my fifth one would be Lukaku, because I'm a fan of his, but also he's a top goal scorer for Belgium, but he's also the second most goal scorer, I think, ever in Europe. I think he's right after Cristiano Ronaldo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's impressive. I think that's really impressive, and hopefully he won't be too old for the next World Cup. I know a few people were talking about this might be it for him, but we'll see. Always been a fan of his, so always happy to see him do well. I think the most disappointing moments that I had during this World Cup and the most disappointing players, I'm sorry to say, I think Neymar was very disappointing. I personally have always found Neymar to be disappointing. And he didn't start in this tournament. People questioned why he was there during this tournament. Um, People are saying this is his last World Cup, so we'll see. Captain America, Pulisic. Do I say his name right? I always want to say Pulisic, but it's Pulisic. He gave us nothing. And it was interesting because he has been in so many commercials. He's part of that McDonald's campaign with the cups. I got two of those cups. He's part of that campaign with the McDonald's cups. He's Bank of America. He's doing all these beer commercials. But he was not the star of the show. And I mean, I wasn't personally disappointed, because I enjoyed seeing Balogun and the other player whose name it's leaving me. I can't think of him, but I was excited to see the other players on the U.S. men's team do really well. But it was really disappointing after the USA lost, after they were eliminated by Belgium, to see Pulisic, to see his attitude toward being eliminated. I don't think that his teammates deserve that, and I don't think that this fan base of the USMNT, US Mutant Ninja Turtles, men's national team, I don't think that they deserve that. And I thought that it was really detached for him to say that, and it was really disappointing. So hopefully going forward with the men's national team, we won't have those kind of attitudes going forward. And he also inspired a lot of debate about youth soccer and the pipeline to professional soccer in this country, which is a good thing that came out of it. But I didn't like his attitude after that loss. He could have left that. A lot of people were saying James Rodriguez on Colombia was disappointing. I remember a couple of years ago, he was like it, and everyone was talking about him, and everyone was excited about him. I didn't see anything to be impressed by with him, and he, for so long, has been the face of Colombian football, and I think that era has probably passed. I'm gonna say the French goalkeeper Mike Maignan was disappointing in that last game against England, where I don't know what was going on with him, but he was missing a lot. And England scored a lot because I just saw that he was not in front of the goal. He was outside of the box. And I don't know what happened. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of the French team. I'm not like a diehard French football supporter. But I just thought that was odd. I thought that was odd, especially from a team that had been playing so well throughout the entire tournament. And then the goalkeeper just, I don't know what he was doing. The most disappointing thing for me with the World Cup, and I probably said this before, but the most disappointing thing for me in this World Cup was not getting to see N'Golo Kante for France play 1 minute, not 1 minute in this World Cup. We know he's 35 years old, so this may have been his last time. This may have been his last call up to the national team. And I was really hoping to see him at least be subbed in at some point. And that reminds me, a couple of days ago, I was on a live and I said I was going to hold on to a theory that I had. My theory, and I never said it, but my theory was that he was called up because it was assumed, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. He was called up because it was assumed that France would face Argentina. And in that case, N'Golo Kante would have been very effective in neutralizing Leo Messi, in my opinion. And that's what we saw from him in 2018. Did we not? I believe so. And that was a long time ago, but still, he's still one of the best around. Humblest guy, nicest guy, former Chelsea. So, I'm a fan of his. And just really sad to not see him get any time on the field. I think the best matches of the tournament, definitely England versus France, the third place match. I think we were all fired up about that one. That was a really great game. I thought in the group stage, England played Croatia, I think. And that game was probably one of the first fire matches of the tournament. Cabo Verde versus Spain, of course, that's when we all were introduced to Cabo Verde, and we saw Vozinha make all of those saves and not allow a single goal. Not allow a single goal to Spain, and that's where I think he really cemented himself in, an instant legacy during this World Cup and for his country. And then I also think Cabo Verde versus Argentina was another match for the ages. I'm going to be talking quite a bit about Cabo Verde in this video because I'm so impressed with them and I'm so excited about them. The biggest upsets for me were Curacao, Ecuador. Again, I told you this was a goalkeeper's cup. And that was Eloy Room was the goalkeeper. And they held to a draw in that match. Paraguay eliminating Germany on penalty kicks. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I'm still so stunned about that. And all of the good will that Paraguay had built for themselves in defeating a football giant like Germany, unfortunately squandered that with, the woman politician, whoever, who had some choice words for Kylian Mbappe later on in the tournament when France defeated Paraguay, and that was whack. I didn't like that. I did not like that. And then I think another upset, honestly, I don't know how much of an upset this was statistically, but Mexico playing England at the Azteca, I think the lore of the Azteca and Mexico having only lost a handful of matches there before this this game against England, that game was full of goals. It was very dramatic, including a dramatic thunderstorm before the match even started. I remember it started late. But I think we were all counting on the lore of the Azteca to bring Mexico to a victory, and that didn't happen. So I put that under the upset category. I've been talking quite a bit about the kits and the outfits that the players have been wearing throughout the tournament, And some of my favorites are Ghana's home kit, the white one with the black star in the center and the spider web. And it's my favorite because it references Anansi, the trickster god, a huge part of Ghanaian folklore, West African folklore, even Caribbean folklore. And the meaning behind that I just thought was so beautiful and so special. Um, Really wonderful. I think there were so many kits that had such a deep meaning, so many shirts that had such a deep meaning during this cup. France's away kit, I've talked about it 100 times, paid an homage to the Statue of Liberty, which is my favorite thing in New York. And I had to have that one. And I'm so excited that I did. I did get it because it's just a piece of art for me. Korea's away kit was lavender, floral, gorgeous, sold out everywhere, along with Curaçao's away kit, which I think was so pretty. And the yellow with the, I think it's Adidas, so it had the stripes on the sleeves. And it's funny because on the Adidas website, it's half off, but it's not in stock. So I hope they will get their act together before Christmas because we need those. DRC, their I don't know if it was home or away, but it was the blue one with the print on the front. And they had an Okapi print on the front, which is crazy because their team's nickname is the Leopards. And a lot of people were like, well, why does DRC have a zebra print on their kit when their nickname is the Leopards? But just so you know, this is for you to know. It's an Okapi print. And if you don't know what an Okapi is, it's the closest living relative to the giraffe. And it's native to DRC. That's their national animal. And it was so cool to find for me because I'm an animal lover. So I love finding out these things. And I think their kit was really beautiful. Cabo Verde had their islands on the front of their kit. Mexico's home jersey, the green one, had this Aztec motif, might be not the right word, but print on it. And they had a saying on the back that was really cool too. I love when the kits kind of call back to folklore and heritage and things like that. I think that's really cool. Brazil had a kit. I don't know if there was their home or their away kit, but it was the one with the Jordan logo on it. And that was the poison dart frog from the Amazon. That's the print of the poison dart frog, that black and blue. And that's the color of the frog. See, again, like these designers were really, really thinking, and they did a good job. Haiti had a kit that was banned that referenced their revolution and referenced their history as revolutionaries, which is a beautiful kit. And unfortunately, it was banned. And then Belgium's away kit took me a long time to really realize what was going on there, but that was an homage to René Magritte. And it had, it was the pink and blue one that kind of looked like a gender reveal, their gender reveal kit. But on the back, it said something like "Ceci n'est pas un maillot." I think this is not a shirt, in French, which is a play on Magritte's "Ceci n'est pas un pipe." So that was cool. That was cool. I thought some of the worst kits were Germany's. I thought Germany's was just boring. I've seen better looking Germany kits. Uruguay had this kit that looked like Black Panther. I wasn't into it. I thought the USA kit was uninspired. We could do a lot better going forward. Just having those stripes and then the plain on the back. I don't know. There's so many good designers in this country. Somebody can come up with something that's, a little bit more inspired. And I wasn't a fan of Argentina's dark blue, the away, that had the filigree on it. I wasn't really, I wasn't into it. I think that their usual kit with the stripes it's a classic. It's a classic look for them. I'm way over. I like to keep this to 20 minutes, but this is getting a little bit longer. But it's the end of the World Cup, so it's the last time that I'm getting a chance to really talk and chat about this. The biggest controversies of the cup, and please let me know if I've skipped any or if there's any that you feel were more controversial. Egypt's denied goal is up there, number one for me. I think that game was the biggest controversy. That was the game that I didn't see. That was the game I listened to on the radio. I think the biggest controversy that's not game related, well, it is game related, but not one particular game, I think, was Iran being forced to play in their games in the US and then having to go back to their camp in Tijuana, Mexico, was a disgrace. That's beyond a controversy. That was a disgrace. And I wonder how they're doing these days, because they played so well. They played so well, and they gave everything they had. And I'm still thinking about them. I'm still thinking about the Iranian team. I think that the U.S. Balogun, I'm trying to get the pronunciation right. He was red carded during one match, and then next thing you know, that red card disappeared, and he was allowed to play in the next match. And I think that was a controversy. That was controversial, but also, I think it really screwed the momentum of the men's team. I think having that happen, and then it's like they weren't. There was so much talk about that I feel like by the time they went on to play Belgium, that was in their head. There was this cloud over them. And I think the curse I think the curse was in action for that. You know what I'm talking about when I say the curse. Obviously, the hydration breaks were very controversial and very unnecessary. I mean, on the days that it was hot, sure, but there were plenty of times where games were played indoor stadiums or the temperature wasn't that hot to begin with. But I guess you have to stay consistent with each game. For me, it's a game of two halves, not a game of four quarters. So I don't know. We'll see if that's something that they move forward with in the next World Cup in 4 years. It'll be in Europe and in North Africa and South America. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think that's one of those things that you can do a post-mortem on that and kind of, the powers that be will decide if they want hydration breaks, if they see that it makes them more money, type of thing. I think Alexi Lawless was pretty controversial. I did not watch him, but I did see a lot of clips of him and a lot of the nonsense that he was talking about. Did you guys watch Alexi Lawless? Were you watching on Fox? I was watching on Telemundo, which I love and I thought was a lot better than watching on Fox. More like passion, more vibrant, I think. I think some of the top fan moments we had, Lumumba Vea in Mexico. He is the Congolese fan who stands still like a statue in the manner of Patrice Lumumba. And he was at their game in Mexico. Unfortunately, he was not given a visa to come and watch them, the DRC, in the US, which is a shame. DRC's arrival outfits, when they wore those all black with the leopard, and the leopard pin and the leopard print going across, I thought that was so gorgeous and so chic. They really killed it. And they came late. They were one of the last teams to arrive, and they just shut it all down. That was really, really exciting. I think we all love Lamine Yamal's little brother. We were all excited for him. And he gave us a lot of joyful moments. We enjoyed the Viking row. A lot of us enjoyed the Viking row. The Tartan Army, Scotland fans made a lot of waves in the U.S. in their time here. They drank a lot of beer in Boston, and I heard that a couple of tap rooms were completely dry after Scotland fans were coming through. So they were having such a great time, and they were really enjoying themselves. Um, I loved hearing about Europeans discovering ranch dressing. I thought that was really cute and so adorable. And hopefully, those of who have gone back home, I hope that they've had a chance to. I hope they didn't get their ranch dressing confiscated um, upon leaving or entering, uh, this country and to their destination. I thought that was just so funny. Just please, if you're in Europe and you're watching this and you have ranch dressing, it does not go on pizza. I don't care what anybody tells you. It does not belong on pizza. As far as fan moments go, I had a great time at the fan zone here in Queens. Um, a lot of giveaways, a lot of fan activation. Totally free. Did have to get a ticket, but it was totally free, and it was really fun hanging out with other fans and just enjoying a full day full of football. So I really will miss the fan zones because I've never experienced anything like that before, and I kind of wish that we could have it again next summer. And maybe we will for Women's World Cup. And if they do, I will be there because that was so much fun to do something in New York that's free and it's not overwhelmingly crowded and it's fun. It's not corny. You're not like, oh, I gotta leave, I gotta get out of here, is rare. So I hope they'll do that for the Women's World Cup or something similar to that for the Women's World Cup because um, it was just too much fun. It was just so much fun. I think the most beautiful stadium, obviously, the stadium, Estadio BBVA in Monterrey. Monterrey. Can't roll my R's anymore. In Mexico. And that was a stadium with the open roof and the beautiful view of the mountain in the distance. And that was designed by Populous Architects and VFO Arquitectos. And it's a beautiful stadium also because it's designed to work with nature, it's eco-friendly, and it took the environment into account during the design process and construction, which is something that we always love. I think that I'm like flying through the rest of my list right now because it's 32 minutes. And I usually like to keep these closer to 20 minutes, but we're a little chatty today. I think, we know who won the game yesterday. We know that Spain won, Argentina 0. I don't know who could have predicted that. I know a few people probably did predict that outcome. But I think Argentina was on such a run, and whether you believe that we were working with favoritism or a fixed outcome of the World Cup, I think by that point Argentina was very much favorited to win the cup. So shocking to me, shocking to many, I think. But I'm happy to see Spain win. I think Spain played with integrity. I think they played with sportsmanship. Unfortunately, I don't want to be like this, but I cannot say the same about Argentina. We saw after the match some very unsportsmanlike behavior from the team, from the Argentina side, and that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool at all. So congratulations, enhorabuena, a España. Congratulations to Spain for winning. I think the true winners of the cup, though, is Cabo Verde because they stole our hearts. And they are the only team that Spain did not score against. So maybe they are the true winners. Maybe they are the true winners of the World Cup. They stole our hearts, and they were our sweethearts. I've said this many times during the course of all these lives that I've done. Vozinha and Cabo Verde, the true sweethearts of the World Cup, the darlings of the World Cup. And Vozinha was in town this weekend at Fanatics Fest. He was everywhere this weekend. He was at all kinds of parties and functions and dinners, and good for him. Good for him. I saw a video of him with Igita, which was just so cute because they were speaking in Spanish, but they were talking about doing the scorpion that Igita is famous for. And it was it was so cute. But it's, he was on Good Morning America. Rosinho was on Good Morning America. And it's like, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to see him get all this love and admiration and accolades that, from his performance and the good work that he put in during the World Cup. So to me, they're the true winners in our hearts. I think I said earlier, Holland and Jude Bellingham. What is Holland's first name? Erling Haaland. It's just like, I just went blank. Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, and their friendship, but also their show of positive masculinity and sportsmanship, and just positive behavior, mature behavior, because they're both young. I think they're real role models so far. As athletes, as players. For those people who want to look up to professional athletes as role models. But I really enjoyed watching them. I enjoyed seeing them play, and I know they were getting the people fired up. They were getting people really excited about that. So I look forward to seeing so much more from the two of them going forward in the league play and for their national team. I know the Euros are coming up in a couple of years, so we'll see them in a few years anyway. And I think another winner of this cup was Telemundo. For those of us here in the United States, Telemundo had the Spanish language broadcast rights for this tournament, and I watched almost every game on Telemundo. Spanish comprehension is way up here. It's up here, guys. We'll see how that goes by the end of the week or by the end of the month. But I thought that they were also winners of this tournament. Whether we could understand Spanish or not, a lot of people were switching over to listening on Telemundo because their announcers announce the games with passion, with admiration, with feeling, with emphasis. And you cannot watch football without emphasis because you need to feel the drama. And they gave us the drama. I heard they captured a large non-Spanish speaking audience for this World Cup. And that's really exciting for them. They may be getting the Spanish language rights for the Women's World Cup and maybe for other international tournaments going forward because they were a hit. And now a lot of us are going to be watching El Señor de los Cielos because we saw those advertisements day in and day out for over a month. There are 10 seasons of El Señor de los Cielos, and each episode's about an hour long. So we got a lot of catching up to do. We have a lot of catching up to do on the show. And this is the 10th and final season of the show, as they let us know over and over again. Let me know some of your favorites, who you enjoyed, some of your favorite moments, some of your least favorite moments, and what you thought overall of the World Cup. We're 4 years away from the next World Cup. Feels like an eternity. I'm excited. The thing I'm most excited about, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm very excited in 2030 to not be a part and not have to hear about Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm very happy to be leaving both of them right here in 2026. I'm pretty sure by 2030 we'll be seeing Lamine Yamal with straight teeth because he probably won't have braces then. And he's so young, so it's like he's so young. So I didn't even realize he had braces until yesterday. And, that's a rite of passage for a young person to have braces. But I'm excited to see his straightened smile, his teeth. But honestly, that's a joke. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how he'll grow as a footballer. We got to see really see him in this tournament and see how he plays in this tournament with the team. And so in 4 years, he'll be what, 21, 22 years old? No, he'll be older than that. He won't be older than 25 or so. Um, but it's always exciting to see how footballers will grow. So I'll be excited to see his star on the rise in 2030. Um, Kylian Mbappe should still be playing by the next World Cup. He's already the top goal scorer. So if he stays healthy and he's called up in 4 years, we'll be looking at a lot more goals from him, hopefully. And maybe even he'll win another golden boot. Who knows? We know he won the golden boot for this tournament, so maybe he's got another one in him. And I'm also excited to see more African football, more dynamic African football. Supposedly, the tournament is going to be expanded to more teams. We had, what, 9 or 10 African teams this World Cup. And so we should be welcoming more in the next World Cup. And I think that'll be really exciting because, as I've been saying repeatedly on these lives, African football is the future. 2030 is the future, and African football is the future. So we should be getting a good, healthy dose of African football in the future. We might not have Vozinha with us. We might. He'll be 44. I don't know. But I hope we will still see him in some capacity because we love him. He's our big cousin, our little cousin, our favorite cousin. If you're younger or you're older, he's our favorite cousin. And we want to see more of him. That's the end of my list. That was a long one. That was the longest list of my World Cup recap. But I'm really excited to have been able to do all of these live videos and talk so much about football, something that I really and truly love with all of my heart. I have loved with all of my heart for almost 30 years. And I met so many people during this World Cup and had a chance to talk to so many people about the football that we love, the football we grew up with, and what's going on in football now. And it's a lot of fun. And I know that I usually talk about language and I usually talk about culture. I will be featuring more football on this channel, hopefully. I'm working out how I'm going to do that and how that's going to work. And if you have any ideas, shoot me an email, leave me a comment, leave me a chat, whatever. Contact me on DM me on Instagram or Threads or LinkedIn or whatever. If you have any thoughts, any ideas, let me know. But that's it. So World Cup is over, and I hope that you all enjoyed it. I hope you're all happy with the outcome. I hope you all had the time of your lives with wall-to-wall football, back-to-back football for the last 40 days. It's been a pleasure to really come and talk live. And, hopefully you'll join me when there's more podcast episodes that are out or when we're back here again talking about football. It's Monday, which is a rough day to begin with, but it was a rough day without football. So I hope that you all made it through the day. I hope you made it through this live. I know this is almost 45 minutes, but I hope you made it through this live. I hope you made it through your day. I hope wherever you are in the world, you are enjoying yourselves. I hope you're happy. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're staying hydrated. And I hope you have plans for the rest of the summer because summer is not over. World Cup is over, but we've got more summer ahead of us. If you're experiencing summer, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's winter. Hold on, hang in there. Summer's coming. Thank you so much for joining me for this live, and I'll talk to you guys soon.